Many idols have broken and redefined barriers in the past, and yet these two trainees are going to make history very soon. From being North Korean defectors to debuting in the K-pop industry, here are the stories of the SB BOYZ members Seok and Hyuk. North Korea isn't known for being exactly a liberal country. In fact, it has kept itself cut off from the world for a while. They've been known to strictly control what comes in and out and keep their citizens from having access to foreign things like movies or books. Those caught with foreign stuff can face serious punishment, sometimes even have their lives taken, according to the defectors who left North Korea. In the last 10 years, a human rights report shows that at least 7 people lost their lives for sharing K-pop videos from South Korea. Considering that the leader of the country, Kim Jong-un, calls South Korean entertainment a vicious disease, you can't be surprised at how intolerant they are of K-pop. However, it's not like attempts haven't been made to improve the relations between the two countries through the power of music. Back in March 2018, more than 150 artists, including Red Velvet, Cho Young-pil, and Lee Sun-hee, made a trip across the border to perform for Kim Jong-un and North Korean citizens. But even though this happened, it was still unthinkable for any North Korean to debut in a K-pop group. Well, until now, as SB BOYZ is about to hit the stage with 2 North Korean members in their lineup. But let's talk a bit about the group first. SB BOYZ is a tentative name for a boy group debuting under a new independent company called the Singing Beetle. What's really impressive about the group is that they're being created by Michelle Cho, who is also the CEO of the company. Fans of SM Entertainment artists may be familiar with her as she's written songs for Baekhyun, Kai, 17, Queendom Puzzle, and many more. Based on this, people expect that the music of the new group will be good. Even though we don't know any details of their debut, not even the date of their first release, what we do know is that the company has 3 trainees that will probably debut in the group: Seok, Hyuk, and Kenny. 2 other members will be added later on as the group plans to make a US debut next year. It's possible that they're debuting in the US due to the possible backlash they might face if they were to debut in South Korea. Now, let's talk about the members. Kenny may be already known to some people as he was a contestant in the survival show Asia Super Young, but the focus has been on the other 2 members. Yoo Hyuk, the rapper of the group, was born in March 2000 in Gyeongsang, a place in North Korea located along the eastern coast. As you might have guessed, his life hasn't been easy since his early childhood, as his parents divorced when he was only 3 years old and started living separately. His mom went to South Korea while his dad used up all their money on alcohol and bribing officials to avoid working, which is legally required for all able-bodied citizens of North Korea. These circumstances put a 7-year-old Hyuk into a tight spot as he had noticed that his family wasn't having a good time financially. This became even more apparent to him when he had witnessed his grandmother trying to pick up grains of rice from the floor of the train station, so he had tried to help in any way he could, which is absolutely heartbreaking considering that he was only a child back then. Seeing as he couldn't work, he resold stolen cement for cash and sometimes resorted to begging for money. He had a bit of help from some soldiers who would give him food or supplies as they recognized him, but things weren't good for his family either way. Hyuk said, "We were essentially beggars who happened to have nothing else but a house." Thankfully, his mother ended up coming through, asking for him to join her in South Korea. But since she had left him alone with his father, begging in the street for money, they weren't exactly close, so it's no wonder he refused. His mom kept at it, talking to his dad and promising to send money every month if their son agreed to leave. And that's exactly what he did. He told his 12-year-old son to pursue a better life in South Korea while he would stay in the north and try to improve his life there. This worked, and Hyuk was convinced to start his not-so-easy journey to the south. Hyuk's trip to the south took 6 months, and he had to cross through 3 countries to reach his destination, so when he finally arrived in Seoul, he had already turned 13 years old. To adjust to his new life in a whole other country, Hyuk was made to go through a program designed for North Korean defectors. He also enrolled in a free boarding school which had other escapees as students, but instead of finding comfort in that, he still felt like he didn't belong. Because he still considered himself distant from his mother, Hyuk took a part-time job to earn some money as he didn't want to financially depend on her. His life there had been pretty hard already, but in his second year of living in the South, it got worse as his father passed away from a liver disease. This made Hyuk feel even lonelier. He didn't have a lot of friends, he was having a hard time adjusting to a life in a whole different country, and now he didn't even have a father. He also didn't care much for school, but he enjoyed studying Korean and poetry. Seeing his interest, his high school teacher had suggested that he try writing rap lyrics, even though he didn't have any knowledge of that music style. So he ended up doing his research and found some rappers on YouTube. More particularly, he had watched Show Me the Money, where he had seen rappers expressing their struggles through music. As Hyuk attempted to express his feelings through rap music, life kept throwing other challenges his way. He dropped out of arts college and ended up in a lot of debt due to a scam, which forced him to work at a Samsung semiconductor factory. Thankfully, his life got a lot better from then on. He met Michelle Cho through a mutual acquaintance and gave her a song that he had written himself. She was so impressed that she offered him free rap lessons, leading him to quit his job so he could focus on music. All he had wanted was to reach the point that his friends and family in North Korea would see him and know that he's doing well. He couldn't reach that through acting, but he's hoping to reach that goal by being an idol. Hyuk said, "At the end of the day, there isn't a single person who hasn't had hardships. I hope to move the world with our music." He also expressed his desire to connect with others who've gone through tough times like him. Hyuk mentioned that he really wanted to show that even North Koreans can dream big, so he hopes to inspire other marginalized individuals to also have big dreams while living their lives. While life in North Korea can't be easy by default, Kim Seok's life was much easier than that of his bandmate. Seok moved to South Korea when he was 19 years old, but had already been pretty familiar with K-pop at that point. He had a decent life and had managed to listen to some sneaked-in K-pop songs and music videos. He was amazed that the artists there could write lyrics and sing about the beauty of love and relationships, which was pretty different from North Korean music, which aims to teach certain ideas. He expressed his goals as an idol, saying, "I'd like to make music that can move people's hearts from the first verse." It isn't known how he escaped his home country or how he got in touch with Michelle Cho, but we're assuming that the Wall Street Journal article we took our information from was vague on purpose so they could protect the boys. These stories are just as devastating to hear as they are heartwarming. Knowing just what they went through and how persistent they are to be successful in the industry, we know that we're about to witness a legendary debut and hopefully their long careers. The SB Boys are currently being faced with a very busy schedule filled with dance classes, rap and singing lessons, daily English tests, and even a course about global citizenship that helps them understand different cultures. Well, Singing Beetle is certainly doing something right, something that other, bigger companies never bothered doing, and that's educating idols on cultural differences. The two had even had their first performance at a multicultural festival in Seoul, with only a few people watching. They did a cover of a South Korean hip-hop song, but had changed a few words to give the performance their own original twist. They finished with an energetic dance to BTS's hit song Idol, and by the end, their audience had grown to about 50 people. Small steps, but considering their circumstances, a win is a win. It's also very apparent that the boys are set in succeeding, to the point that they're criticizing themselves in order to get better. After they had gone backstage, Hyuk expressed that he could have controlled the stage better and engaged with the audience more, rating his performance a 6 out of 10. But despite the hardships to get there, looking back on his past, Hyuk has shared that he feels much happier and more normal now. As much as we're excited to see their debut, we should also think of the risks that these boys face just by being North Korean. Ignoring the likely harassment they might face from South Korean internet users due to their nationality, along with significant scrutiny, we cannot ignore the fact that simply being in public and openly sharing their journey is dangerous. If one of them still has family in North Korea, it's understandable to worry about the safety of their relatives, especially considering how openly they discussed their past experiences in their home country. Either way, they've decided to take these risky steps despite knowing the consequences, so all we can do is support them when they eventually debut and wish them all the best. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.